Hello, welcome to Elimo Math Problem Solving. So we're going to be going through um, 16 May 2024 paper 1. It's an Edexcel International Math paper. So we're going to have a look at that paper and see how best we can solve some of the questions from that paper. So let's dive ahead to the questions. So question number 1, it reads, here are the first 4 terms of an arithmetic sequence. And question A wants us to find an expression in terms of n for the nth term of this sequence. So the most important thing is to know what an arithmetic sequence is. All right. So you have to know that an arithmetic sequence has a first term is denoted by letter A. And then the difference between two consecutive numbers in the sequence is called common difference. And the common difference is denoted by letter D. So by just looking at that sequence over here, you can actually see that the first term is 1 and the common difference is 3. So for us to find the nth term of this sequence, we're going to use this expression. So un is equal to a plus n minus 1 d. So by substituting the terms that we already have, you can see that a, which is the first term, is 1 plus, since the question wants us to find in terms of n, we're just going to substitute n here, right? Minus 1, and the common difference is 3. So we first expand this bracket over here, we're going to end up with 1 plus 3n minus 3, right? And then obviously solve the like terms. So you're going to have 3n plus 1 minus 3. And therefore, we're going to have 3n minus 2, which is your final answer. So your final answer is 3n minus 2. All right, let's try to move on to the next question, which is question B. So in question B, they say that the nth term of a different arithmetic sequence is 5n plus 17. So they want us to find the 12th term of this sequence. So 5n plus 17 is the expression that we're given for a certain arithmetic sequence. So n over there is just representing the number of term that we're looking for. So for this question, they want us to find the 12th term of this sequence. So you just substitute 12 on 5, on n. So you just have 5n plus 17. And then you're going to substitute what? The 12 on n. So you're going to have 5 by 12 plus 17. So 5 times 12, it's 60 plus 17. So you're going to have 77, right? So your final answer is 77 over here. All right. Let's move on to the next question, number 2. So number 2 reads, 450 students were asked how they traveled to school on Monday. Each student walked or traveled by bus or traveled by car or traveled by bicycle. each student used just one method of travel. One of these students is chosen at random. The table shows information about the probability of each method of travel, right? So you can see the table over there showing us information about the probability, right? And the question wants us to work out how many of the students, of the 450 students, traveled by car. So we're going to have a look at the probability of cars, of a car, which is 2x, right? So the first thing that we have to do is find the value of x, right? Probability always adds up to 1, right? It doesn't exceed 1. It is between 0 and 1, right? So for us to find the probability of using a car when traveling, we have to find the total of all these probabilities. So it's 0.20 plus x plus 2x plus 0.26, which will give us 1 because the total probability gives us 1, right? So if you add x plus 2x, you're going to get 3x. And then if you add 0.20 plus 0.26, you're going to get 0.46 equal to 1. So we're now going to try and find the value of x. So 3x is going to be equal to 1 minus 0.46, right? 3x is equal to 1 minus 0.46. You're going to get 0.54. So 0.54. And then we get the value of x. Of course, we're going to be dividing both sides by what? By 3, isn't it? So x is equal to 0.18. 0.18. So now that we have the value of x, right, we are going to find the probability of using a car. So the probability of using a car, we just multiply the value of x by 2, right? Because the probability of using a car, of course, is 2x. So it just means 2 times 0.18, which is 0.36, isn't it? 0.36. All right. So they say the question specifically wants us to find the number of a student that traveled by what? By car, of which we know that the total number of students was what? Was 450. So we're just going to say the probability of using a car, which is 0.36, and then we multiply by the total number of students to find the number of students that traveled by car. All right. So number of students that traveled by car, right, is just equal to the 0.36 multiplied by 450, right? So if you multiply 0.36 by 450, you're going to get 162. So your answer is 162 students, of course, 162 students. All right. Now let's move on to question number 3. Okay. Question number 3 wants us to find the highest common factor of 72 and 108. All right. So there are quite a number of ways that we can use to first find the prime factors of 72 and 108. All right. So I'll just show you one of the ways that we can actually use. So we have to first find the prime factors of that make up 72. The prime factors that make up 72. So of course, the smallest prime factor is 2, right? So we're going to take our 72 and we use 2, right? So first of all, we're going to use 2. So 72 divided by 2, we're going to get 36. 36 divided by 2, we're going to get 18. 18 divided by 2, we're going to get 9. Now, we can no longer divide by 2 because it's going to give us a remainder, of which we don't want a prime factor that gives us a remainder. So the next prime factor is going to be 3, right? So if we use 3, 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 divided by 3, it's 1. So when we get 1, we know that it is terminated, and then we take these prime factors over here. So the prime factors that make 72 are 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. So they make up 72. And then we look for the prime factors, right, that make 108. So we do the same thing that we did when we were looking for the prime factors that make 72. So 2 into 108, that's 54. And then 54 divided by 2, that's 27. So we can't divide 2 into 27. We can't do that because we're going to get a remainder. So we now look for the next prime factor, which is 3. So if we divide 3 into 27, we're going to get 9. And then 9 can be divided by 3 again. Then we get 3. And then we can divide the 3 with another 3 so that we get 1. So it is terminated. So you're going to take these values over here, right? So it's 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. So this makes 108. All right, this makes 108. So the common factors between 72 and 108 are going to make the highest common factor, because this question wants us to find the highest common factor of 72 and what? And 108. So the common factors that we have between 72 and 108, so it's just this 2 and this 2. So we put this 2 down, this 2 and this 2. We also take that 2 down. So there is no other 2 in this chain that gives us 108. So we're done with the 2s. So we now go on to the 3s. We have this 3 and this 3, and we write the 3. We have this 3 and this 3, and we take down that 3, right? So at the end of the day, we find the product of these factors right here. So 2 times 2, that's 4. 4 times 3, that's 12. 12 times 3, that's 36. Right? So the highest common factor of 72 and 108 is 36. All right. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, there we are. Question number 4 is saying that Ava records the number of kilometers she drives each month. In April, Ava drove 943 kilometers. This is 15% more than the number of kilometers she drove in March. Work out the number of kilometers Ava drove in March. So if this question specifically told us that this is 15% more than the number of kilometers she drove in March. That means in March, she drove 15 kilometers less than the number of kilometers that we have right here, which is 943 kilometers, right? So what we're going to do is this. Since we now know that 943 is actually 15% more. So we actually want to find the number of kilometers she drove in March. So 115 kilometers, since she drove 15 kilometers more than she drove in March, right, is going to be equivalent to 943 kilometers. It's 115%, right? And then 100%, that is the percentage that is going to give us the distance that Ava drove in March, right? So it's definitely going to give us less, because if 115 is giving us 943, 100% would definitely give us less, right? So we're definitely going to get less. So we're going to say 100 over 115 multiplied by 943, right? If you enter all those digits into the calculator, you're going to come up with 820, right? So she traveled 820, she drives 820 kilometers in March. So your answer is 820 over there. All right, let's move on to the next question. Okay, question number 5 over there. Okay, so in the diagram, ABCDE is a regular pentagon. Angle AEF is equal to 96 degrees. So this is AEF, right? And then the question wants us to work out the size of the obtuse angle FED. So this is FED, right? And they want us to show the working clearly. All right. This one is a pretty easy question. So the main clue lies within this regular pentagon that we have here. All right. So a pentagon has 5 shapes, five sides, I mean to say 5 sides, right? So the first thing that we have to do is to find the total number of the interior angles, right? So interior angle, total interior angles, of course, right? We find it by, because it's the total sum of interior angles. We use this formula, n minus 2 multiplied by 180. So n is the number of what? Number of sides of that regular polygon that we're dealing with, of which that one is a pentagon. So it's going to be 5, because it has 5 sides. So 5 minus 2 multiplied by 180. So 5 minus 2 is definitely 3. So 3 times 180, 3 times 180, you're going to get 540. So 540 is the total sum of interior angles of this regular pentagon here, ABCDE. All right. So we want to find the size of each angle, right? So of course it has 5 angles, because it's a pentagon, 5 sides and 5 angles, right? So it's let's just say size of each angle, right, in a pentagon. So it's just 540 divided by the number of sides that you have, and then you're gonna get 108 degrees, right? So angle AED, this angle right here is 108 degrees, isn't it? So our main focus is actually finding FED. So FED, since you know that a complete revolution has 360 degrees. So in order for us to find a angle FED, we just find the total of 96 and 108 and then take it away from 360. So it's 360 degrees minus the sum of 108 degrees plus 96 degrees, right? So if you punch in those values into the calculator, you're gonna get 156 degrees. All right. So of course, your final answer here is 156 degrees. All right. Okay, let's move on to question number 6. So question number 6 is simply asking us to, expand and simplify this expression over here. So when you're expanding two brackets, you just multiply the first term, the terms in the first bracket, multiply both terms in the second bracket, and the second term in the first bracket also multiplies all the terms in the second bracket. All right. So m times m, you're gonna get m squared. M times minus 8, you get minus 8m, right? And then plus 5 times m, you get plus 5m, and then minus 5 plus 5 minus times minus 8, right? You're gonna get minus 40, right? So your final answer is gonna be m squared, right? So you just simplify negative 8m plus 5m because they are like terms, right? So you're gonna get negative 3m minus 40, right? So this is your final answer. So you write m squared minus 3m minus 40. Okay, and then question B, they want us to solve a 3n minus 4 is equal to 5n plus 6 all over 3. So if a question asks you to solve, then you have to find the value of the unknown term in the expression. So it's 3n minus 4 is equal to 5n plus 6 all over 3. So the first thing that I would do over here is to get rid of this denominator here, the 3, all right? So I'll multiply both sides by 3. And mind you, over here, this 3 is going to affect both numbers on the left side, right? So I'm going to put a bracket over there. So this 3, of course, and this 3. So we've gotten rid of this denominator. So this 3, if it's not multiplying everything in this bracket, we're going to end up with 3 times 3, that's 9n, minus 3 times minus 4. So that's where this minus coming from, because this minus 3 is positive and then minus 4 is negative. So when you multiply a positive and a negative, you're going to get a negative. So 3 times minus 4, you get minus 12, right, is equal to 5n plus 6. So I'm going to be collecting like terms over to the same side. So this 9n, obviously, I can simplify it with this 5n, and this 12, negative 12, and this 6. So I'll try to make sure that like terms are on the same side. So it's going to be 9n, and then I'll carry this positive 5 from there. If it skips or jumps the equal sign, it becomes negative. All right, so it becomes minus 5n is equal to this 6, right? And this negative 12 becomes positive, so plus 12, right? And then 9n minus 5n, you're going to get 4n is equal to 6 plus 12, right? 6 plus 12, you're going to get a 18, right? 18. So obviously you're going to divide both sides by 4 because you want to get the value of n, isn't it? Right. So if you divide here, you're going to get n, and then 18 over 4 divided by 2 on both sides. But the numerator and the denominator, you're going to get 9 over 2. So your answer is 9 over 2, or 4.5, or 4.5, that's the value of n. So just put 9 over 2 here. All right. Okay, let's move on to question number 7. On question number 7, all right, so we have a universal set that is actually showing us all the elements involved, right? So it's from 23 to 34, right? And if we look at the elements of A, you're going to see that they said even numbers. So what's guiding us is this universal set, right? It's showing us the numbers, like the numbers are from 23 up to 34, right? So we're going to look at the even numbers from 23 to 34. So if we're going to write the elements of A, they're going to be 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, and 34, right? These are the elements of A. And then the elements of B, they actually gave us the elements of B, 23, 29, and 31. So we probably need the elements of C. They say multiples of 3, right? So just the same thing. You just look for the multiples of 3 on that range from 23 to 34, right? So of course, the first one is 24. 24 is a multiple of 3. 24, 27, 30, and 33, right? So these are the elements of a subset C, right? Or set C, let's say set C. So the first question wants us to list the members of the set B union C. So B union C, it simply means all the elements of B and C. So you're not going to repeat the common ones, but we want to find all the elements of B and C all together, right? All the elements of B and C all together, but we're not going to repeat the common ones, okay? So if you look at the elements of B, we have 23, 29, and 31. And then we look at the elements in C, we have 24, 27, 30, and 33. All right. So we're just going to combine these elements, right? So we have, we actually have 23, right? And we're going to take 24, right? Because we have a 24 in C. And then we're going to have a 27, right? And then we're going to take a 29 and a 30, a 31, and 33, right? And 33. So 33 is the last one. So you just take a 33. So it's 23, 24, 27, 29, 30, 31, and 33. All right. So that's what we do. All right. And then A complement intersection of C. So when they say A complement, they're trying to say that values that are outside of set A, values that are outside of set A. And this sign intersect, it means what's common, right? What's common, isn't it? So the values that are outside of set A and the values that are in set C. So what is common about those two sets? So values outside of a set A, that's A complement, right? So we are not going to include 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, and 34 because they're completely out, right? So we have from C, we actually have 24, right? And we also have 27. We also have 30. We also have 33. So we're not going to take 24 because we already have a 24 in A. So we want something that is outside of A, isn't it? So 24 is out. We're not going to take 24 from C, right? 27, we are definitely going to take 27 because we don't have a 27 in A. So 27 is one of them, right? And then 30, we actually have a 30 in A, right? Because we're only looking for something that is outside of set A. So if we have a 30 in A, we're not going to take that 30, right? And we move on to the next one. We have 33 in C, and we don't have a 33 in A. So of course, we're looking for elements that are outside of A. So at 33, we're going to take a 33 as well, right? And 33. So the two terms that we're going to have is 27 and 33, isn't it? Okay. And the next question is saying that is it true that B intersect C, right, does not have any elements, isn't it? Does not have any elements. So let's look at B intersect C, right? So B intersect C, you can see that we actually don't have any common elements between B and C, isn't it? So they want you to, they say that tick one of these boxes below and then give a reason. So of course, I'm going to say yes. Yes, right? And they actually want us to give a reason. So there are no members or values common in both set A and B, as you can see here, right? So you can see the elements in set C and the elements in set A. 23, 29, 31. There is no 23 here. There's no 29. There's no 31. So my reason is going to be there are no members in common, right? There are no members. You can even say elements or values, in common, because the N, it is that this N looking sign, it stands for intersect. Intersect means common, right? Okay. Let's move on to question D, right? So question D, they say that set D has 4 members and is such that D intersect A union C has no elements. D intersect A union C has no elements. So let's see the elements that we have when we have A union C. So A union C, let's just try to find the elements of A union C. So A union C, we're gonna get let's see the elements that we have. We have 24, right? We also have 26. We have 27. We have 28. We have 30. We also have 32. So I'm just gonna put here. We have 33. And then last but not least, we have 34. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So they want us to look for elements, right? Such that they are not common in set A intersect C and the D set, isn't it? Because we don't have any elements. That's what this sign stands for. There are no elements between intersection of set D and set of A union C. All right. So what we're going to do, you're going to move out here and then look for values that are actually outside of these elements right here, right? So if we look at these elements here in the universal set, right? You're going to see that we don't have from A union C, right? We don't have 23. We don't have 25. We don't have 29. We don't have was 33 we don't have 31, right? So these are the four terms that we actually don't have, right? So D set D intersect this the set of A union C. We're gonna get these four elements: 23, 25, 29, and 31, right? 23, 25, 29, and 31. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next question. Question number 8. All right. Question number 8 states that a cylinder is placed on a table. So this is the cylinder over here, and the volume of the cylinder is 1,575 cubic centimeters, and the force exerted by the cylinder on the table is 84 newtons, right? And then they give us a formula of calculating pressure, which is force divided by area. So they want us to work out the pressure on the table due to the cylinder, all right? So what do we have from the question? The question actually gave us the volume of the cylinder, right? So we're going to work out from that angle, isn't it? So for us to find volume of cylinder, right? It's very easy. It's pi r squared multiplied by the height, right? But pi r squared, right, is the area of the circle, right? So the area of the circle, right, multiplied by the height, right, we're going to get the volume of the cylinder, isn't it? So the area of the circle, we don't have it. So that's what we actually want to find over there, since this part that is exceeding the force is the circle that we want to find the area for. So it's the volume is 1,575, which is equal to the area that we want to find multiplied by the height that we are given over here, which is 21. So 21. So to find the value of A, of course, we're going to divide by both sides, by 21 both sides. Okay. Such that 21 by 21, of course. And then our area is going to be 1,575 divided by 21. So if you enter those digits into the calculator, you're going to get 75, right? So you get 75. All right. So we now have the area over here. We're just going to substitute the value of the area into this equation here. So pressure is equal to force over area. So the force they gave us as 24 newtons, and the area is actually 75 square centimeters, right? And then if you enter these two values in the calculator, you're going to get 1.12 pascals, right? Or newtons per square kilometer, isn't it? So your final answer, of course, 1.12 newtons per square centimeter. All right. Okay, let's now move on to question number 9. So they say the table gives the amount of rice produced by each of 2 countries in 2020, right? So Indonesia is producing 3.5 times 10 to the power of 7, and Argentina is producing 8.2 times 10 to the power of 5. So they want us to write 3.5 times 10 to the power of 7 as an ordinary number. So 10 to the power of 7, it's simply this power over here is simply showing you the number of decimal places, right? So of course 10 to the power of 7 simply means it has 7 zeros, isn't it? It has 7 zeros. So it also shows you the number of decimal places that the comma over here, right, is going to move from this position to the right. So if the power is positive, it's moving to the right. If the power is negative, it moves to the left. So I have 3.5, right? And it's times 10 to the power of 7. So this comma is going to move 7 steps to the right, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So obviously it's going to be a comma right there and the 0.0. So I'll just put these placeholders of here, right? Okay, so this is what I'll end up with, isn't it? All right, which is actually 35 million, right? So it's 335, and then you add 6 zeros, isn't it? So that is your final answer, 35 million, isn't it? Okay, and the next question, they said in Japan, in 2020, Japan produced 6,780,000 more tons of rice than Argentina, right? They want us to work out the amount of rice Japan produced in 2020. and they want us to give our answer in standard form. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is look at the amount of rice that Argentina produced, right? Since Japan produced 6,780,000 more. So it's 8.2 times 10 to the power of 5, right? And we're going to add 6,780,000 onto that. So 8.2 times 10 to the power of 5, 8.2 times 10 to the power of 5. All right. If you're going to write this as an ordinary number, remember it moves 5 digits to the right? So it's going to be 8.2 like that, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll just put the placeholders over there. So it's going to look like this, right? Which is actually 820,000, right? So in order for me to get the total amount of rice Japan produced in 2020, I'm just going to add 6,780,000 tons, right? Plus 820,000, right? And the total is going to be, because I'm going to get a 0 here, 2 plus 8, I get a 10. Then 8 plus 7, it's 17 plus 1, that's 18. All right, that's 18. No. So 7 plus 8 is not 17, my bad. It's actually 15, right? My bad. It's actually 15. So I'll remove this. So it's 15. And then 15 plus 1, that's 16, right? So I'm going to put a 6 here. All right, so that's 16. And then 6 plus 1, that's 7, isn't it? 7. So we now have 7,600,000. So 7,600,000. This one is an ordinary number. If you want to write it as a standard form, so of course the point is here. Point 0 is here. So we just count 7 digits. I mean, we just count the number of digits up until it comes over here, because standard form, there has to be a 1 digit before the comma. All right, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it moved 6 digits, six steps, right? So it's going to be 7.6 times 10 to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Positive 6. Positive 6. So it's 7.6 times 10 to the power of 6. That is your final answer. All right. That is your final answer over there. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 10. They say that simplify 2p all raised to the power of 0, where p is greater than 0. All right. So we know that any number raised to the power of 0, it gives us 1. Any number raised to the power of 0, it gives us 1. So your answer here is just 1. Right. Now they want us to find the value of n, right? From this expression right there, y to the power of 9 times y to the power of -3 is equal to what? Y to the power of n, right? So by just applying laws of indices, right, this should be a very easy problem to solve, isn't it? Very, very easy problem to solve. So what you just do, when indices when you're multiplying indices, right? You just add the powers, isn't it? You just add the powers. So if you have y to the power of 9 times y to the power of minus 3 is equal to y to the power of n. So these two are multiplying, right? They're common terms y and y, right? So you're just going to add the powers. So you're going to have 9 y to the power of 9 plus, and then you take this power, which is minus 3, and then it is equal to y to the power of n, right? So 9 plus minus 3, right? Plus and minus, you get a minus. 9 minus 3, that's 6. So you now have y to the power of 6 is equal to y to the power of n, right? So you now just equate the powers because you have the same one basis, which is y and y. So 6 is equal to n. So n is 6, all right? And then they also want us to simplify, to fully simplify this expression that we have over here. So this power 3, right, is affecting everything that is inside this bracket, right? It affects them differently. If it's a number, then we are going to raise that number to this power. But if we have an index like this, right, we're just going to multiply the power with the power that is outside the bracket. Okay, so we start with this 5 to the power of 3. It's 5 times 5 times 5, which gives us 125, right? And then a to the power of 4, being reason to the power of 3, we simply multiply the powers, that's as I say. So it's 4 times 3, excuse me, which gives us a to the power of 12. So it's a to the power of 12. And then 2 times 3. Now we are looking at C. So it's going to be 6. So 2 times 3, it's 6. So C to the power of 6. So our final answer is going to be 125. A to the power of 12. C to the power of 6, right? So that is our final answer. All right. So we now move on to the next question. Okay. So a question number 11 reads, the diagram shows a roof support. The roof support is made from 4 lengths of wood, A, B, A, C, B, C, and M, C, right? And then we can actually see that AC is equal to BC, right? Which is actually 9 meters. AB is 12 meters. Angle AMC is 90 degrees, which is a right angle. So Lewis is going to buy lengths of wood to make the roof support. The wood costs 21.50 euros, 21.50 euros per meter, right? So each length of wood he buys has to be a whole number of meters. Work out the total cost of the wood Lewis needs to buy. Show you're working clearly. All right, so this one is an easy question, right? So the first thing that we have to look for is we have been given the length of the wood. So we actually know that here we have 9 meters, right? And this bottom part is 12 meters, right? But we want to know the length of CM, right? Or MC. We don't know the length of MC. So we want to find the length of MC. That's the first thing that we need to do. So actually A to B is 12. That means if this is just A to M is just half of AB. So this one is going to be 6 and this one is going to be 6 as well. All right. So at the end of the day, we're going to have something that looks like this, right? 9 meters. And then we don't know MC. This is our MC, and this is 6. So we want to find the length of what? Of MC, right? So it's just applying the Pythagoras theorem, right? So 9 squared is equal to MC squared plus 6 squared. So if you want to find MC squared is definitely 9 squared minus 6 squared, right? So 9 squared minus 6 squared, 9 squared, that's 81. So you just write 81 minus 36 is equal to MC squared. So the value of MC, of course, it's the square root of 81 minus 36. So 81 minus 36, we're gonna get 11 minus 6, that's 5, 4, and then so it's 45. So it's 45. So MC is the square root of 45, right? MC, it is the square root of 45. All right. So they say that the wood actually cost $21, sorry, 21.50 euros per meter. Okay, so what we need to do now is to find a what we need to do is to find the total length. All right, the total length. So the total length is going to be 9, this 9 plus this 9 plus this 12 plus the square root of 45, right? So it's 9 total length is equal to a 9 meters plus 9 meters plus 12 meters plus the square root of a 45, right? Okay, so the square root of 45 can actually give us 6.708. 6.708. So it's plus 6.708. 6.708. So you're gonna see that if we find the total of 9 plus 9 plus 12 plus 6.708, you're going to get a 36 point something, right? And if you round it off to a whole number, you're gonna get 37, isn't it? So 37 meters if you round it off to a whole number, because they actually mentioned that here, right? Each length of the wood he buys has to be a whole number of meters. So it has to be a whole number of meters. So for us to now find the total cost, is just the 37 meters, right? Multiplied by 27.50 21.50 euros, right? And then you're gonna get 795.50, isn't it? 150 euros. So you just write 795.50 euros over there. All right, so this is your final answer, isn't it? Okay, now let's move on to question